Let me ask you something before we start. Why do so many people swear they love their SUV right up until the first year is over? Because regret doesn't show up during a test drive. It doesn't show up when the car is clean, shiny, and parked in your driveway for the very first time. Regret shows up later, after the excitement wears off, after the first service visit that cost more than you expected, after fuel costs quietly start adding up every single month, after you realize the features you were excited about don't actually make daily life better. Today, we're talking about 3 SUVs people don't regret immediately, but very commonly regret after 1 year of ownership. These are not terrible vehicles. They sell extremely well for a reason. But they create disappointment when expectations collide with real-world ownership. So if you're planning to buy an SUV in 2025 or 2026, this video could genuinely save you thousands of dollars and a lot of frustration. SUV number 1. Jeep Grand Cherokee. The Jeep Grand Cherokee sells a very powerful idea. It looks tough, it looks premium, and it feels expensive, in a good way. For many buyers, this is the SUV that makes them feel like they finally upgraded in life. You sit higher, the hood looks muscular, the interior feels upscale, and the badge carries weight. On paper, it's almost impossible to argue against. You get strong engine options, real off-road capability if you want it, smooth highway manners, and trims that promise luxury without paying German prices. For the first few months, most owners are genuinely happy. The ride feels comfortable, the cabin feels quiet, and the SUV feels solid. The regret doesn't come from how the Grand Cherokee drives, it comes from what happens once ownership settles in. The first issue is reliability consistency. This SUV has years that are solid and years that are problematic, and most buyers don't know which is which when they're shopping. Electrical glitches start to appear, infotainment systems freeze or lag. Air suspension systems, especially on higher trims, can become a financial nightmare outside warranty. Transmission behavior can feel unpredictable, especially as mileage increases. These problems don't happen to everyone, but when they do, they're expensive enough to change how owners feel about the vehicle. Then there are running costs, which quietly wear people down. Fuel economy looks reasonable on paper, but real-world driving often tells a different story. Many owners are surprised how often they're at the gas station, especially in city driving. Add higher insurance premiums, premium fuel recommendations on certain engines, and maintenance costs closer to luxury brands than mainstream SUVs, and the Grand Cherokee starts feeling less like a smart buy and more like a financial commitment. By the end of the first year, many owners say the same thing. They still love how it looks, they still enjoy how it drives, they just didn't expect it to demand this much attention and money. It's not a bad SUV, but it does punish buyers who weren't prepared for long-term ownership reality. SUV number 2. Ford Explorer. The Ford Explorer feels like one of the safest decisions you can make in the SUV market, especially if you're buying for a family. It's familiar, it's everywhere, and that familiarity creates trust before you even drive it. For decades, the Explorer has been positioned as the do-everything SUV. 3 rows of seating, room for kids, groceries, road trips, and daily life. Strong engine options, modern tech, a comfortable ride, and the confidence of a massive, well-known American brand. On the dealership lot, it makes a strong first impression. The exterior looks bold, the interior feels modern, the screens are large and flashy. It gives the feeling that you're getting a lot of SUV for your money. During the first few months, most owners are satisfied. It's quiet enough, it's smooth enough. It handles school runs, errands, and highway driving without drama. It does what it's supposed to do. The regret with the Ford Explorer doesn't come from one big dramatic failure. It comes slowly, from a collection of small disappointments that add up over time. Build quality is usually the first crack in the armor. Owners start hearing rattles that weren't there before. Interior panels begin to creak. Trim pieces feel loose. Materials that looked solid on day 1 start to feel cheap far earlier than expected. Panel gaps, misaligned trim, and cosmetic flaws become impossible to ignore once the new car feeling fades.
None of these issues strand you on the road, but they hurt because buyers expected better from something that wasn't cheap. Transmission behavior is another common frustration. Some explorers shift smoothly and feel well sorted. Others hesitate, lurch, or shift harshly at low speeds. That inconsistency is what bothers owners the most. You never know if your Explorer is one of the good ones or one of the ones that always feels a little off. Engine choices don't always age as well as buyers expect either. The turbocharged four-cylinder looks efficient on paper, but in real life it can feel strained when the vehicle is fully loaded with people and cargo. That strain translates into higher fuel consumption than expected and a feeling that the SUV is working harder than it should. The available V6 delivers stronger power and smoother performance, but fuel costs climb quickly, especially in city driving. Many owners realize after a year that they are spending far more on gas than they budgeted. Technology, which sells the Explorer so well at the dealership, also becomes a source of regret. The infotainment system looks impressive at first. Large screens, digital gauges, connected features. But over time, freezing screens, laggy responses, random disconnects, and frequent software updates turn convenience into annoyance. Features you paid extra for stop feeling premium and start feeling unreliable. Then comes depreciation, the part no one really thinks about on day one. The Ford Explorer loses value faster than many buyers expect. After just 1 year, trade-in offers can come in thousands lower than anticipated. That's when the financial regret starts to sink in. You realize the SUV didn't just cost you money to own, it cost you money to get out of. After about a year, most owners reach the same conclusion. The Explorer hasn't fallen apart, but it hasn't aged gracefully either. It no longer feels new, it no longer feels refined, and it definitely doesn't feel premium. Most people don't hate the Ford Explorer. They just feel underwhelmed. And that subtle feeling of, I expected more for the money, that's what creates long-term regret.
SUV number 3, Nissan Rogue. The Nissan Rogue represents a very different kind of regret. This is not an emotional purchase. People don't buy the Rogue because they love it. They buy it because it feels responsible. It's affordable, it's fuel efficient, it's easy to drive. And on paper, it makes a lot of sense. For many buyers, this is their first SUV. It feels safe, it feels practical, and at the beginning, it delivers exactly what it promises. It's comfortable enough, quiet enough, simple to live with. During the first few months, there's very little to complain about. Over time, though, the ownership experience starts to change. Not in a dramatic way, but in a slow, draining one. The engine begins to feel underpowered, especially when merging onto highways or climbing hills with passengers and cargo. Acceleration feels hesitant, and the continuously variable transmission, the CVT, makes the driving experience feel disconnected and unresponsive. The Rogue isn't meant to be sporty, but after months of daily commuting, that lack of responsiveness becomes mentally exhausting. You start pressing the throttle harder, you start planning merges earlier, and that's when the frustration sets in. Then there's the psychological weight that comes with Rogue ownership. Nissan's CVT reputation hangs over the entire experience. Even if nothing goes wrong, owners are constantly aware that something could. That background anxiety changes how you feel about the car. Every strange noise, every delayed response, it makes you wonder if this is the beginning of an expensive problem. And when CVT issues do happen outside warranty, repairs can easily reach $3,000 to $5,000, often more than the vehicle feels worth at that point. Fuel efficiency, which is one of the Rogue's biggest selling points, also disappoints in real-world use. Numbers look great on paper, but once you add highway merges, city traffic, and full loads, many owners see mileage lower than expected. That means the savings you thought you were getting slowly disappear. Then comes resale value, the final blow. The Nissan Rogue depreciates faster than many buyers expect. After just 1 or 2 years, trade-in offers can come in thousands lower than anticipated.
That's when regret becomes financial. Owners realize they didn't just buy a boring SUV, they bought one that lost value quickly and offers little excitement in return. Most Rogue owners don't say the SUV is terrible. They say it was fine. And that's the problem. The Nissan Rogue isn't remembered for what it did wrong. It's remembered for making people wish they had chosen something better. Before you buy your next SUV, remember this. Most regret doesn't come from the test drive. It comes from living with the decision. If this video helped you see past the hype and think long-term, hit like so more people don't make the same mistakes. Subscribe if you want honest breakdowns that save you money, not sales pitches. And share this with someone shopping for an SUV, because one good decision can save thousands.